Welcome back. Welcome back to Oilers Workshop Art Live number 25, which is crazy, but crazy to think I've done 25 2 to 3 hour live streams. Whew. Man, what could I have done with all that time? Oh, I know. Make more dioramas, which I'm doing. Hey guys, thanks for being here. Sorry I was late. Yeah, just living life. Everything takes longer than I expect, and the older I get, the longer everything seems to take. So sorry for the delay, but here I am. Here we are. So today we're going to work on some Star Wars stuff. We're going to keep going on the tiny art experiment. And wow, somebody already sent in a super chat. And it won't let me look at it. Is it just a super sticker? Well, if it is, thank you. Hold on a sec. It's not letting me. There we are. CH Anthony. Really looking forward to seeing this all come together. Is Instagram your only sales portal? Like, if I wanted to commission something, how does that work if a person doesn't use Instagram? CH Anthony, thank you for asking. I appreciate that super chat. Very kind of you. That money, by the way, for the tiny art experiment, these streams, it's going to go to transporting and moving around this Star Wars diorama and making sure this gets to the photographers and it gets transported around. We're going to Las Vegas. February, I believe it's February 22nd through the 26th. It's like the last weekend in February, from Thursday through Sunday. We're going to Vegas to the Gold Coast Hotel, to the International Market of Miniature Artisans. So if you are a miniature maker like me and you want to sell your wares, go check out their website. I've linked it below. It's already linked below in this description. I believe it's imoma.lv.com or something like that. Forgive me, but it's linked below. So if you want to go to either sell your miniature wares or dioramas or art pieces, or you would like to go buy things, especially like miniature accessories, there is 62 vendors already signed up. I recounted the number the other day. I think when they did it in 2020, they only had like 30 vendors. So they have over double the amount of vendors since their last convention, or their last show. And it's people who make everything from like doll clothing to like miniature soda bottles to entire like modern home setups. It's like incredible stuff. So I'm going to be there in February, and we're bringing the tiny art experiment there in February to debut. And I've even talking to some people about meeting me there who are also part of the experiment to help, kind of premiere it and do some cool stuff with it. And yeah, go check out their Instagram account. That's imoma.lv on Instagram, or link below if you want to go to Vegas and meet us there. I'll be there from Wednesday through Sunday, probably, and leaving Monday. So I'll be there pretty much that whole week at that event and hanging out. And my goal is to be there and with some of the displays that we've made live here on the channel. Maybe some things of mine to sell. Obviously, if I have time to make something, which I don't know if I will, we'll find out. And also, I'm going to be making stuff live there. I'm going to bring some tools and maybe just make stuff there. So people come by the table or whatever I'm doing, we can have a conversation and I can share with people what we are here doing on my channel. I know there's a lot of people in the miniature world who don't know how to work with foam. So hopefully I can kind of bring that to them. Even though I do work with everything, I'm hoping to maybe meet some people and share that fun skill with them. And I know I'm probably one of the first toy adjacent artists that's going to be going to this event. And so if any of you guys out there, toy photographers, toy collectors, toy diorama guys, want to go and check it out, and it's not a huge expense for you, don't fly around the world to come unless you really want to. But if you can make it to Vegas in February, I think it'll be worth it. It should be a lot of fun. And I may go to Vegas and go broke, not because I gambled my money away, but because I spent it on other people's beautiful miniatures that they made. So I'm a little worried that I might spend all my cash there. But thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate that. So just a note, if you guys want to go, this experiment will be there. It's going to be on a 10-foot circular table. We're going to set it up. We're going to lay sand out. We're going to set up all the beautiful things the artist made, let people take pictures of it. I'm going to put up some plaques with like who made what from what part of the world. Should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get some photography done there at the event of the pieces done. So we're working that out still. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to maybe do some more detailing this week on some of these walls if we have time on one of the buildings, and make some more details, hang some wires, do some, maybe even pull out the airbrush. I don't know how much time we have, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We'll see. And I am working on some of my custom bases. I've been doing them in the background, like literally like 5 minutes at a time. I have some custom bases that I have made that are all cast replicas of my original sculpt, and I'm only going to make 100 of them. I know I've talked about this before, but I have to keep delaying it because I have a couple of logistical things that have to be in order before I open them up for pre-order, but hopefully this week they will be up for pre-order in my Etsy store, which is linked below. But I will post an actual video announcing that on both Instagram and here on YouTube, and an actual post so everybody can see clearly that those are up for sale. So if you've seen them before, you know what they're talking about. They're pinned, and I think it's the first pinned post on my Instagram, and they will premiere this week, hopefully in a video. So Elwood DD question, will you show a video how you made that AT-AT from scratch? Yes, I will. Channel members are going to get to see that first. In fact, there actually is already a longer video of just the head that they've already had up for months. Yeah, that entire process is coming out. It'll probably be just a sort of watch me build, and I will talk through it a little bit, because a lot of the process is just repeating the same things with the same materials. But yes, I will have that whole video out, and that AT-AT is finally getting closer to where it's at a good point, and so hopefully I'll be able to get that out in a reasonable amount of time. My goal is to have that done a long time ago, but I'm always wrong on my estimates and time for things, so I'm trying not to make any crazy promises anymore, because things just take forever. So I will have a whole video. The whole build will probably be like an hour-and-a-half long video when that comes out, but don't expect it like before the end of the year, honestly. Probably early next year, so just so you know. I can show you an update on the paint, though. I did a pet test on the final paint really quick before we get into this week's stream. I'll show you. I was testing the finished coat of paint. Oh man, that looks good on camera. I couldn't tell if it was the right gray in real life. I had an undercoat of a darker gray on this, and I was looking for that industrial gray that the original AT-ATs were painted, and I think I found the right color. I wanted to do it just in a single coat, if I could, with some light touch-up. So yes, this whole video, building this whole thing, is already available to channel members, but I will make a full build video, including what they got and more, a little bit trimmed down, for all of you guys. So Bjorn, this is 1/18 scale. This is for the 3 3/4 line. You can fit, I took a bunch of images, and I scaled them based off the 3 3/4, the original size Star Wars action figures. So this thing is huge, like, you know, and this is only 1/18 scale. So you can imagine if this was 1/6 scale, this thing would be about 33% bigger. This thing would be like that big. You know, it'd be like, let's see, it'd be like that big if it was 6 scale. So, or sorry, 1/12 scale. If it was 1/12 scale, it'd be like this big. I actually started to make one 1/12 scale, and all I made was the underframe, and I just did the underframe of the head, and I was like, this is too big. Like, the AT-AT would be bigger than my shop table, and I'm supposed to be putting this in a crashed snow environment, and trying to do just that was too big. So I had to scale it back to 1/18 scale. But yes, the entire video, when I'm done with this, will be out. I've already have the head, the neck, the underguns, and most of the body like edited and ready to trim down for like a reasonable edit. And I gotta finish doing the legs and filming that, and then do the environment, and that'll be ready. So it's gonna be a minute, but yeah, we'll get there. So here's your AT-AT, and this paint, I will share the color of paint and everything. And so just so you know too, this whole cannon is made out of found objects. And nothing is 3D printed, completely handmade. I'm proud of that. My philosophy was always, you know, the original builders for ILM, you know, who was it that worked on that? Guy that designed Boba Fett's armor, Joe Johnston and Phil Tippett. Those guys built those things from scratch without 3D printers, so I figured I could probably figure it out too, and I am. And it's taking forever, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's work on this Star Wars diorama. And let me turn this here. Hi, Carrie. Boom. So let me show you guys what these are here. If you watched any of the other parts of the Tiny Art Experiment, you've already seen these. These are 2 walls that I made. They are made of cardboard, and they're coated in tile resin, a resin-based tile grout. And then they're coated with these 3 paints. This is Driftwood, French Beige, and Heirloom White. These are all Rust-Oleum, and that is all the paint I've used on these thus far. That's just spray paint, nothing else on these 3 buildings, all right? And this is just some fabric, some fat quarters I got at the store, and I can see my lens is dirty. Let me clean that off. Robert Evans, will I ever film a shop tour? Yes, I'm actually thinking I might save that for 10,000 subscribers. I will probably show the channel members that first, but I think I might release a public video on that maybe when I get to like 10,000 subs. For two reasons. One, because it'll buy me the time I need because I don't have time. And number two, it feels like a good milestone to do that at. Let me grab a lens wipe. Hold on. There's too much face grease on my phone. All right. There we go. That's greasy. Tatooine is not that greasy. CH Anthony, I forgot that you forgot to tell us how to pay for your art. Well, if you go to my Etsy store, you can buy some stuff there already, but that's where I will have the bases that I am making 100 of for sale later this week. And that'll all be there. And I'm doing it through Etsy because it will protect your purchase and it will make it easier for me to handle things like if there's a damage or I need to take care of somebody, that the system's already in place. And so it's going to be safer for you and me to do it there. So that'll be there. And if you wanted to commission something from me, which I cannot take another commission right now, unless it is a commercial job, I'm not taking any private commissions until probably like April of next year. So I would message me then. I'm not able to a list or anything like that. I have a list and I'm just going to work through that list. And when that list gets smaller, I will let people know on my Instagram page that I'm open to considering commissions again, but it probably won't happen until like April of next year, to be honest with you. I just have way too much to do already, and I don't want to make people wait for, 5 years. I've already made people wait over a year, in some cases close to 2. So I don't want to do that to anybody else. So once that list gets smaller, I will open that up, and if you're still interested, then you can hit me up then, all right? Because I don't want to make people wait any longer than they have to, and if sometimes people move on in that amount of time. And so there's no point in making people wait. So I appreciate you, bud. Thank you for asking. That's where I'm at. Oh, and I had my lipoma removed. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you noticed this in streams, the big old piece of fat that was hanging off of here. I was working around. I actually had this removed. I was procrastinating getting this thing removed for many years. I had this on my wrist for almost 18 years, mostly because of the expense. And then I finally found a doctor, surgeon in Carson City in northern Nevada, who could do it for a rate that was actually reasonable. I mean, it was still expensive for me, but I was like, oh, I can actually do that without having to like fly to some third world country and pay for somebody to do it in the back alley. So I had that removed last Monday or 2 Mondays ago, and I'm getting the stitches out tomorrow, and hopefully I can show you guys the scar next Sunday. So yeah, this is off, and this is great that this is off because now I can start doing my cosplay stuff again, which I've always said I wanted to do on this channel, so expect that down the road. But I have armor pieces and gauntlet pieces that I've been making that I can't wear because of that stupid fat lipoma there. I've been putting it off for several years. So now I can go back to making steampunk armor and stuff because my left arm was my test arm. Now that that baby's gone, expect some of that content sometime next year for me. So these are the two walls I was mentioning, and this is the little tower I made. I got to make a modification to this part and how they join together. I'm going to make it magnetic, and then we're going to add details. These are some of the details I already pre-painted from part 6 of the tiny art experiment, or part 5, I can't remember. But we can finish detailing these and attach some of them and do some like hanging wires and stuff. This beautiful piece right here was made by White Wolf Dioramas on Instagram. If you go check out White Wolf Dioramas, you can see him making this. Or you can go to the Tiny Art Experiment page on Instagram, and I have reposted his images, and he's tagged in them if you want to go find him. He made this wall detail, and it was part of sort of like an engineering setup that he did, but I decided to use it as like a fueling station. And the idea behind this was that Razor Crest back there would come in here and land, and it would hook up like a fuel line to here, and it would let the ships kind of refuel. So that's kind of how I envision these two walls being used in this beautiful piece that he made. But as you can see, I need to touch up here. I taped this all off when I did the spray painting, so I need to come in here and touch this up. I need a little bit of a touch up with some of the resin grout in here. A couple little areas got dinged when I transported it. So we can even do some of that here, and I'll show you how I do touch up with spray paint. So, sorry for the MTV cam, shaky cam. I went over these before. These are miniature terracotta pots. These are blind roller shade blind gears. So are these as well, these beautiful little gear pieces that I molded and recasted myself out of liquid plastic. These are brass beads that I molded and casted out of liquid plastic. These are oscillating fan feet that go on the ends of the legs of the fan. These are PVC couplings you can buy at Home Depot. I think they're like 79 cents a piece. I just super glued them together and I sanded off the logos. What's up, White Vegeta? Thanks for coming by. Kind of looks like a Johnny Five. No disassemble. And this is just a piece of, I forgot the scheduling of this piece, this PVC. It's a type of PVC that's that black PVC. But, you know, I just painted this, and I painted these up with a base coat of, I think, gray, and then I used these colors to dust on some color, and then we'll do maybe some washes over them. And the same thing here. This was made by Diorama Accessories. He molded and casted this piece and cast it out of a resin for me. And this is like an instrument panel from like a G.I. Joe line where he just kind of made some copies so that we could have details without using the original piece. So pretty ingenious. It's basically what I did with those pieces I was just talking about. He also made this one. Diorama Accessories made this for us. So thank you, sir. And hopefully we can incorporate some of these pieces onto these walls. Maybe we'll go to this one and do some touch up and kind of lay out what we want here. Troy, what's up, man? Yeah, go check out, everybody go check out White Vegeta and Troy Dodson. I think White Vegeta is most active on Facebook, if I'm not correct. And Troy's over on Instagram. New Future Customs also. They're making some awesome dioramas over there. Go check them out. I appreciate them because you know, they're shouting me out and letting me know that they actually are learning something here. So thank you. Anytime you guys do that and you have a technique you use that, you know, you picked up from me or you got inspired by, if you feel so inclined to tag me in it, I will reshare it as long as it's appropriate. You know, I don't do anything that's like overtly violent or political or religious or you know, immoral speaking. So I don't like to reshare stuff like that. But as long as it's something that's like subject neutral, I'm happy to reshare it on my Instagram story and tag you guys in it. So if you do anything like that, I appreciate that. I'm happy to do that. It also lets people know that, hey, maybe it's worth their time. Watch what we're doing. So thank you guys. You guys rock. And thank you to all of our new channel members who are here or who may watch in future times or listen in future times. I appreciate you very much. Thank you guys for the likes. All right, so maybe we'll pick a few pieces here to lay out and see what we want to do. I don't want to go overboard because I meant to spread these accessories out across a couple of pieces. They're not all meant for these two walls here, but I want to just see what things might look like, you know, just kind of, whoops, splattered about. I don't know. This has got quite a bit of detail, so I don't know if I want to put too much detail around it. Bjorn, that was cool. I saw Bjorn making a cool template out of graph paper on his Instagram. Go check out Bjorn if you want to figure out how to make graph paper templates to make miniature sleeping bags, which is pretty ingenious, man. Maybe this needs a vent up there. That looks kind of cool. Put a vent there. Could do some hanging wires. I like that. Maybe that looks like that's like the perfect spot for that. It's the right dimension. Okay, we'll do that. And maybe we'll glue this guy somewhere. I like the way that pipe looks there. I just put it there just to see it. It looks pretty good. And then we'll do this guy here. And then let's see, maybe something over here. Just set that there for now. And over here, or even a ground accessory, which I actually already have in boxes up over there. Yeah, you bro, no problem. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for making awesome stuff. Maybe up here. Here, let me do that. Maybe over there. Looks kind of good right there. Or do I want it down here? I don't know. Don't know. Or a bigger one here? Nah. I don't know. I kind of like that right there. Maybe we could paint some detail, like some letters or some kind of pattern over there or something. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, let's do those first. I'm going to use the devil for this. Hot glue. Hot glue is the devil. If you don't know me yet, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with hot glue. So let me get my gun really quick. Use the tiny one. All right, we'll use some EPS glue. There's a link below for this in a 4-ounce bottle by Bob Smith Industries if you want to get some. I love this glue. This is the glue that I hate, hot glue, but you know, it serves a good couple of purposes, so I keep it around, you know. I keep it around. All right, just plugging in my gun. Let this thing heat up here. Where'd my drink go? Where'd you guys put my drink? Hey, there it is. You guys ever had this? I really like this stuff. Since I don't really have alcohol much at all anymore, I do like caffeine. These are pretty good. They're like not full of sugar, and they keep you awake. Stuff's pretty good. Oop. Fizzy. So you can see the whole painting process for how I did this style of painting on the whole diorama with the spray paint cans in the Tiny Art Experiment playlist that I have linked below. That, or you can just go to my channel main page and go to playlist and look for Tiny Art Experiment. I think it's in part maybe like 4 that I demonstrate this, and it's towards the end of the video, but it's a longer segment where I show you exactly how I get all this shading and highlights with just 3 spray paints. And it's easier than you might think. And you just to get this variation and get these little upstrokes and shading and highlights and all this stuff where you have some depth in the sort of exterior texture. It's amazing what you can do with spray paint if you just kind of, you know, experiment, which I did a lot of growing up because I didn't have access to things like an airbrush. I didn't even have money for like brushable paints. And so my dad had cans of spray paint laying around, and I would just goof around with all different colors and kind of figured out how to get comfortable with a spray can. You know, I know, like, excuse me, you got your graffiti artists who are extremely good with spray cans. You know, I'm not on that level, but I definitely learned how to utilize the way that the cans work in a way that I could repurpose for things like this. And so there's nothing else happening here other than spray paint right now out of a can. Even up to here, you know, I taped this thing off and sprayed it, and it got it right up to that edge, nice and clean, except for the bottom here because of all these little pieces. But if you want to watch that, that's in the Tiny Art Experiment. Like I said, I think it's part 3 or 4, but you'll have to go back and watch. And I don't think I have any of the videos longer than about 45 minutes, so it's not like a bunch of time lost if you go back and watch that. And I try to make every minute of that pretty informationally packed for you. I don't like to put any videos up unless I think it will actually be worth at least someone's time. So I tried to make that as meaningful as I could, not only for the public, but for the artists involved. So. And sometimes, you know, for like this piece here, I could even just leave this not glued. And, or if I wanted to glue it really strongly, I could create an intersecting piece of PVC and glue it into the wall and then glue this onto that PVC, which, I don't know, let me see how I feel about this. I think once I glue it in place, as long as I'm careful, I'll be okay with it. Like hot glue to tack it, and then this glue to actually glue it, to grip it might be enough, or maybe I'll cut a flat piece to go inside that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let's see, is this hot yet? How we doing? Yeah, it's just about there. Oh, perfect. So how I use hot glue a lot of times, because hot glue is the devil, is I'll use it as a tacking agent, kind of like a tack welding, where you just tack something in place, make sure it's aligned, and then you finish the weld. I kind of do that with glues, where I'll put the main glue that I want in the bulk of the space, and then I'll tack the corners or I'll tack the center so that it holds itself in place as the main glue dries. That's kind of how I use hot glue. So helped me work pretty fast too. So exactly, hot cut, White Vegeta, using those emojis. Thank you, sir. I actually have a couple more that I got to put up for you guys that I got to finish making. A couple of custom emojis for the channel members. Thank you. So I'm just going to spread this glue around on the bulk of this. I don't want it to squirt out from the side, so just making sure it's not crazy. And then I'm going to tack the corners with the devil. Just like that. And then this will basically hold itself in place with the hot glue. I'm going to hold it, let the hot glue kind of cool down, And theoretically, actually, this is the shape of this is not perfectly flat, so it might pop off, but we'll find out in a second. Nope, we're good. Okay. So my hot glue is holding it in place right now while the center glue dries, so I don't have to sit here and like set it on its back and wait for it to dry over a couple of hours or start to get tacky. I can just keep moving because I hate waiting for things to dry unless I absolutely have no choice. So I will do the same thing here. But in this case, I might tack the center so that the hot glue has somewhere to go inside this hole here. So I'll go around the outside with this and make sure there's no stringies and put some hot glue in the center like that. But I don't need that. And then plop this where I want it. Like that. Just gonna hold it there, let the hot glue cool off because I'm using a high temp hot glue gun. And with high temp hot glue guns, hot glue guns, you usually have to hold them in place for a little bit longer of a second because that glue is not cooled off yet. I actually am out of cans of keyboard duster air, but if you take a can of keyboard duster air and you turn it upside down and shoot it, it'll shoot cold air out and it'll cool your hot glue down like instantly. I use that sometimes to even speed up this process. So there's that piece. And then, let's see, do I want to cut a flat piece in here? Probably should. Yeah, let's do that. Let's cut a piece. Go in here. I'm going to use a scrap piece of PVC sheet. If I can find one. White Vegeta says, this is a great opportunity to dig through some e-waste, found objects, and greeble. Absolutely. Greebles. Yeah, this is perfect for that, and that is exactly how they made these things in Star Wars originally. They used model kit parts and junk parts and stuff they had laying around and made some incredible, timeless designs just using junk. So, okay, so this is a scrap piece of styrene I had. Or not styrene, but PVC sheet. And I'm going to use this and trace a little hole. And then I'm going to cut inside the line by about 1/8 of an inch so that it will fit inside. And I might just do a super rough cut with this. With scissors, if these are strong enough. Because I'm not worried about a nice sharp edge like I would be if this was a outer detail on like a spaceship. I'm just gonna cut it out like this. Really rough. Not gonna worry about it. Okay. See if this fits. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Just doing this really rough. I'm not worried about it because it's not going to be seen. If you're one of those weird perfectionist engineer types that needs it to look pretty even when on the part that's not going to be seen, you do you. You do what you got to do. But I'm not worried about it for my part. Let's see. We'll go like this. That looks pretty good. So now, before I force this in place here, is this hole bigger up here? Shouldn't be. Well, maybe it is because it's the female end. I guess I do need to make it bigger than that. My bad. This is designed to fit over an end like that, I guess, so it is a little bigger. Oops. I don't have a way to hold it in place. Genius at work, guys. Oh no, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay. So, same thing here. Actually, I will probably super glue this in place, but I'm going to use hot glue to tack it. Just going to create a rim. Like that. give it something to grip, and carefully plop that in place. And then I'm just going to do this. There we go. Just blowing on it to get that hot glue to cool down. All right. Trash and scraps. Super glue. Where'd you go? There it is. This is my favorite super glue to use for most projects. I know a lot of people like to use the expensive modeling stuff, but the expensive modeling stuff is very flowy. And for a lot of the ways that I work, I don't usually need that, although I do have that. I'm doing a lot of bulkier things and larger seams, and so that sometimes that stuff, the way that it flows, doesn't work well for the angles and the way I cut things. So I like to use this. You can get this stuff at Home Depot. I should probably link it below, but it's not. And I'm just going to come in here where it hits all these edges and super glue it in place. Yes, I use my finger with super glue because I'm crazy. I'll probably get cyanoacrylate poisoning someday or become allergic, but hey, until that day comes. No, don't do that. It's not safe. Unless your superpower is not being stuck with super glue. Okay. Give this a sec to cure. And then I'm going to probably come in with my mid-range color, which is this driftwood. So again, we have, French beige. The driftwood is the darker color, which you see in the shading on, in here, that's the driftwood. Then the medium tone is this French beige, and then the lighter color is the heirloom white. I'm literally just going to spray this onto a piece of cardboard and get a brush I don't mind throwing away and brush it on. It's the easiest way to use an actual spray paint color. It's a little bit tedious to spray and respray, but if you only have a small area to do or something you need to correct or a dent or a scratch, it works just fine, you know. Unless you can want to spend time matching the color in acrylic, which it's never going to I shouldn't say never, but it's a pain to try to match colors in acrylic unless you have a giant library of premixed colors, which I don't. And you're probably going to end up wasting a lot of paint to try to color match in room temperature drying acrylic. So we're going to use this, and we're going to touch up this whole area in here that is supposed to be this color. So where are my brushes? Here they are. Thanks for being here, all 20. That always lets people know that around pretending we're Bob Ross, trying to act like we know stuff. It's always entertaining. All right, which brush do I want to use? Which brush do I want to ruin, I guess, is more the question. Yes, we'll ruin this one. And paper towel. And this is something you should only do in a well-ventilated area because I'm going to paint near my face, but I have a fan on over behind me, so it's moving everything that way. It's coming from this way, moving it that way. Keep everything moving away from me, and I have big roll-up doors that are cracked so that the air will go out and it won't float around me. So, okay, so French beige, and I'll show you guys what this looks like. Let me get a scrap piece of cardboard here. Nothing special. And I'll just cut a piece off of this. Good enough. All right. And I'm just going to take Rust-Oleum French beige. Oop, I don't have a cap on that. Steel cap. Nope. I go through a lot of caps. Should probably buy spares. All right, I'll steal this one. I'll see if it's working. Is this one working? Yes. Okay. I'll steal that cap. And if you don't use spray paint a lot, whether it's any brand of spray paint, shake it up like crazy, 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 guys. Like, even if you think it's mixed, mix it some more. Because if it comes out inconsistent, it's going to be a pain, and it's not going to dry right, and you're going to be really mad. So just shake it up. 30 seconds or more is usually fine. If it's really cold, maybe a minute. And then after that, for the rest of the time you're working with it, just reshake it again for a few seconds. Should be okay. There we go. All right. See the little puddle I made? And there, all that dust or that aerosol is going that way now. Come back over here and get in there with the brush I don't mind ruining and touch it up. And the spray paint dries quick, so you're incentivized to work quickly. You know, you don't have to, but you're incentivized to work quickly. And then I'll come in with the other colors and do maybe some dry brushing or scraping with the brush on that. Got some of that plain color resin still stuck to this. Come in here and knock some of it off. Now's not the time. I got spray paint drying. See how easily distracted I am? It's hard to get stuff like this done when you have attention deficit doofus. Okay. You could just do regular painting this way, but I recommend not doing it for a sustained amount of time, because you'll destroy all your brushes and you'll probably have a room full of way too much aerosol. So, you know, wear a mask in that case if you're gonna do this for like hours. You know, in this case, I'm just gonna touch this up. So it's not a big deal, but wear a mask, wear a respirator, and have a strong fan on and a window open if you're gonna do this for longer than 15 minutes, you know, or even longer than 5 minutes, I should say, because it could really not make you feel good, and it could mess with your lungs, especially if you're sensitive to smells. It's not healthy, so be mindful. I have done the stupid thing and like done sustained painting like this when I was, you know, younger, in my late teens, on model kits or on a poster or a sign or whatever, and you know, I've had end up with headaches for 2 days because your lymphatic system is trying to filter out or aerosolized chemicals you just breathed in. So be mindful. It is serious and it can cause problems with your health. So well ventilated, a fan on. Don't be stupid. So, let's see if we can knock that off. But that's pretty much touched up. Maybe we'll add another color here. So let me put the French beige away. Get out the heirloom white. Heirloom white. Make sure that's nice and shooken up. Oh, you know what? I might need to do the underside of this. I didn't think about that. Oh no, we're good. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, there's the heirloom white. And just gonna, a little bit too much, that's okay. Just gonna run it over this, blend it into what's already there. Run it over this. And I might even add some to White Wolf Diorama's colors and sand, just so that kind of blends a little. Because he chose a nice color, but my colors were a little bit different, so maybe we can just encourage it to look like it's part of the same environment a little bit by just doing a little bit of dry brushing of, oops, a little bit too thick there. There we go. Some of this, just a little. I don't want to mess up his beautiful paint job, but just a little to try to make it blend with the environment even more. He did a great job, so I don't want to do anything but just to keep the colors flowing across the piece. There we go. Yeah, that's probably enough to help sell the illusion. A little bit more. We can attribute this buildup of grime to, like, you know, grease or something from the fuel or whatever mixing with the sands. So there we go. All right. I'm sorry. What did you say, White Vegeta? I was recently at a Target and realized they had some for around $5, an acceptable price to me. White Vegeta, I buy most of my spray paint at Home Depot, just because I'm in there all the time and I trust Rust-Oleum, but I really like Rust-Oleum. I haven't tested a lot of other brands of spray paint in the last few years, just so you know. I did a lot of testing 3+ years ago. I hate Valspar. Not that you need to hate it, but I don't like it because just the way it comes out of the can, it comes out of this can so light and thin. I feel like I have to do 47 layers and then they don't cure right. But Rust-Oleum is my favorite. It seems to be the most consistent, although it does tend to gunk up caps. The paint still comes out nice as long as you can find a clean cap and switch it out and follow the directions on keeping the caps clean. Rust-Oleum is my favorite for like a generic brand to just use. There's other high-end brands like graffiti paints I have, and Behr has started a line of that's B-E-H-R. Behr has started a line of really nice paints that I've been experimenting with. And then you have, of course, like Testers, who does the model kit stuff. That stuff's always going to be great. But as far as like cheap, good, accessible spray paints that have a lot in them, I love Rust-Oleum, and I go Home Depot. So. All right. I feel like that's pretty good, but now that I did dry brushing on that, I think I need to do some on this and on that piece as well. So I'll get a little bit of this and just do some of the edges. I'm not going to do anything super fancy, but just let me do this. It's out of focus, huh? There we go. Just sun bake it a little bit, you know. Make it look like it's been chilling in the sun too much. Got some bristles pulling off. It's all right, cheap paintbrush. There we go. Maybe a little bit more hair on the side. Nope, that's good. All that good. Yep. And do a little bit up here. Whoops. Hello. And I'm kind of keeping these up and down because I want it to look like stuff is kind of falling down off of it. You could just dry brush it with a general angular or whatever, but I'm just kind of going back. Maybe like this is a vent, this exhaust vent or something for like fuel that builds up inside of the tank in here, and maybe we'll do some grease coming out of it and dripping down later. When I get that, I might shove a nail through that to hold it stronger. Or not, I don't know. But I'm going to dry brush up against it to make it look like it's part of the wall, or help sell that illusion. There we go. That looking pretty good. All right, and then we got to glue our other pipe piece. So let's see the super glue. That is good. Okay. Same thing here. I will probably glue this in the middle and tack this around on the edges. I'm actually going to fill this hole with glue, or these seams with glue. Just encourage everything to glue together well. Come on, there we go. Want a nice amount on this because I don't want it to crack off easily. Alrighty. And then we get some, oops, hot glue, the devil itself, and just around the edges. Oop, that might happen when you get air bubbles coming through the other glue. That's okay. And we'll put this right there. I might, actually, you know what I might do? I might put some glue in the seam here, encourage it to stay, and then we'll paint around it. I just noticed that curve is a little bit greater than I thought it was. Get off of there. There's no room on tattooing for greenery. Oops, that's what I get for not cleaning the hot glue gun. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, that should help that stay in place while this glue dries. Okay, do a little bit of dry brushing on this pipe. Oops, too much. It's okay. Do washes over it later as well. I don't really care if I paint my mat because I need to replace my mat again soon. spray some more fresh paint. That's getting too cured. Okay. I'm going to come back and take away some of what I put on here too. So if you think I ruined it, just hold on. I'll ruin it more. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you might be thinking, that looks really ugly, or that blotch looks really ugly, or not. Maybe you like it. Maybe you're a weirdo. Hold on, let me grab an amazing tool. One of the greatest things in their arsenal that you could possibly have. Denatured alcohol. This stuff will take permanent marker off of just about anything. And it is amazing to use to mess with paint effects. Germ 3090, I've got a link below. There's a 4-ounce bottle, or you can go to if you want to buy it. If you do want to buy it of it, Hotwire Foam Factory sells their version of it as well. It's the same chemical formula, it's the same glue, but it's just branded differently. So denatured alcohol on a paper towel. I can wipe away, kind of like the Photoshop erase brush. I can brush erase paint that I don't like. And not only will this brush away paint that I don't like, but oops, I might need to re-glue that already. But it will actually blend it into paints that are already there, because it'll eat away at all the layers of paint. So if you use it strategically, see all that? You can create cool little like blending effects with it. So you see how I pulled a bunch of that off and now it's less splotchy, so it's less dense. There we go. And I'm going to add other washes later, but I think that's good to leave like that. So if you want to take away what you put on in a dried, denatured alcohol is your friend. So this stuff is, it is fuel and it is flammable. So do not put it near a flame. It will explode. So just keep it closed, keep it in a safe area where it's temperate. Not too hot, you know, be careful. Keeping it safe on Oiler's Workshop. Okay. Let's do what we just did on this other wall here. Boop. I don't think I need to do any touch-up, but we can glue some accessories if we so want to. This is all cardboard and open cell, not open cell, but well, open cell foam. Yeah, I think it's open cell foam. Styrofoam. That's what it is. Styrofoam. I don't think I used any XPS foam on this one. It's all cardboard and styrofoam, covered in resin tile grout, which I do think I have linked below. Even if you just want to see what it looks like, you can click on that link and check it out. All right. So maybe, I don't know if I want to do a control panel here yet. I might want this in another place. Yeah, the control panel is like too much. Too much, too much. What about the pipes? Nope. Maybe some pipes. Sometimes when I lay things out, nice, Germ 3090, thank you. Yeah, the cork roll, that is extremely valuable if you can get used to using that material. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. So, pipes. You can even do stuff like, well, I don't think I have a big enough piece. You could even go up under stuff with your pipes here too, you know, or even to the side like that. Maybe I'll do one like that over here. I don't know. Kind of like the way this looks. Sometimes I think when I place an item, thank you so much, Craftinator. If you, when I go to place like this, like these greeblies, I'll like pre-paint them. You don't have to pre-paint them either. You can paint them afterwards. You do whatever you want to do. It all works just fine. But sometimes I'll place these and I'll just try to imagine if I was like a photographer or like a cinematographer for a film, because I kind of think in terms of setting up film sets, even though these are miniatures. If I wanted to frame a piece, a part of this, would this look good in a frame? Like, so if I took my camera, right, just like this, and I came in here to take a shot and I put an action figure like right there, would this look out of place? You know, maybe it looks better over here. And then that, like this section is set frames where an action figure could sit, or a character if this was a full-size film set. And this would blend in nicely. But if I had this right here, I might almost think the character would need to go here. But maybe that does look good, you know. Or maybe if I put something here, it gets in the way of creating a little vignette or a scene right there. So sometimes that's how I think when I make a decision, is like not just does it look good as it is as a building, but if I put a character in there or I created some movement, would this get in the way of said movement, or would this look out of place with the character there? Or does this create something where a character could set something on it or sit down on it? Or does it look like you could pull a speeder up to it? Like, where is the story being told? What story can be told with where I'm placing a thing? Or does it just look like a thing that I placed, and anyone that walks up to it will be like, oh, look at those PVC pipes? Or will they walk up to it and go, that's a cool space scene, you know? How is it going to look? So, and why would it be that way, you know? So like over here, right, here's the intake for the fuel going into the pump, right? Maybe the pump's underground, and it's taking the fuel into here, and it's allowing the fuel to come out, you know. I mean, obviously starships don't necessarily use fuel that way, but whatever, you know. We're just, you know, it's just a story for our world. There's a pump underground that gets refilled, you know, and the pump, this pumps it up into there, and the bulk or the large size pipe, excuse me, and it gets in here, and then this is where the coupling can be attached to repower the ship or refuel the ship. And then up here is that generates so much heat from the pump that this is where that pump vents out and the heat comes out over here. And then up here is like a little exhaust port where inside maybe there's some combustion happening in the pump, or there's oil, gas being created from the oil, and this is where it gets to evacuate and come out, right? So I picked all these things for a reason. Number one, because they looked visually pleasing, but also I was like, why would these be here? And then when someone else comes up to see this, even though they won't be thinking, oh, that's this and that's this, because we made this all up, it's a fake world, they'll look at it and feel like it makes some sense, right? So that's what we're trying to do, is tell a story over here. And I feel like a lot of this already tells a story, these details I put in here. I put this story in here. I feel like this is almost like a thing you could walk out onto. And so like if this is where a ship's going to come down and land in here, you know, somebody could walk out on here to get onto a wing and do a repair, or they could scale down onto something instead of climb up onto something, or like they could attach a crane onto this and do repairs. Like that's kind of what my thinking was with this big piece coming out over here and these other pieces. Like maybe there could be some sort of, or maybe there could be like an awning stretched over this so people could come over here and work on cleaning parts, or they could even just rest or something like that, you know. So just coming up with reasons why things might be where they are in your little world will sell the illusion, even if other people don't know what it's supposed to be. So that's all I'm trying to do. That's where my brain is at when I'm doing this. You know, maybe I'll put a thing here, you know, dangle something down. That could be kind of cool. White Vegeta, have I ever used .3 Blake fluid to remove paint? I have never done that. That sounds familiar, though. Like I may have heard that before. I've never tried it. If you want to try it and let me know, I'd love to know what your results are. Tim Bossy, thanks for being here. All right, sorry, just catching up on the chat. Could also glue these in. Glue these up on this little shelf here. Little thingy-mabobbers. You know, the thingy-mabobbers for the thing that does the stuff. Can't forget those. Or maybe just one. I don't know. I kind of like the way one looks. I don't want to use this one. Do that one. And then, do we need a gear? I don't know. I kind of like the way this wall looks, honestly, on its own. I don't think like it needs very much. But that would be kind of nice. There. The center looks too broken up. I feel like right there is good. That's what I'm gonna do. Glue that there, put that there, and where is it? There. Put that there. And I can maybe hang a couple of wires down from that or something, or some string. Be kind of cool. Yeah. I think that's what I want to do. I'm actually going to press into this with this piece here. See if I can get an angle on this for you guys. Move these out of the way. I'm going to push this piece up into it because this is actually slanted down, and I don't want this slanted. I want this to be perpendicular to the ground. So I'm actually going to push this into my piece. You hear that crack? There we go. And then when I glue it in, it'll be slightly indented. So let me see if I can show you what I just did. See that crack? That is so this can push up into there and stay glued. So I just did that to basically reinforce this. So same process here. Spread the EPS glue, and you can, by the way, I'm gluing plastic and nylon plastic and PVC and ABS to tile grout. You can really use any strong glue. I mean, I would even recommend epoxy if you have enough around. It's not too expensive. Grab epoxy because it'll stay really strongly glued. But for how I'm going to use these, I'm not worried about using this glue. This is kind of a medium strength glue, but you could use, what is it, E6000? That's another glue you could use. It just takes a lot longer to cure. You could even use tacky glue, or white glue would actually just work fine. So, but just for what I'm doing, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a little bit of excess glue on the backside, these little thin pieces on the backside, so it squishes out into that crack that I just made. And then I'm going to just going to put some hot glue in the center there. And push this up into that crack, making some squishy noises like that. And just hopefully this will stay with just that. Find out in a minute. Got some little spider webbies from the hot glue. Another reason hot glue is the devil. It's the little spider webbies that it creates. Let me just get that out of there. And yep, that is gonna stay. Okay. Got a little piece right there. Hey, have a good night, Craftinator. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Magic School Truck built a speeder bike, building a bunch of plumbing with a bunch of plumbing stuff. Awesome. That's thinking like an ILM industrial designer. That's awesome. Love it. That's kind of what we're doing here. Same basic thing, just finding cool stuff and putting cool stuff with other cool stuff. All right, just gonna glue this one with just the glue since it doesn't need to really, it's not gonna fall off or anything. Oops, just push it a little bit in. Might have pushed that. That's fine, okay. And this one, do I wanna drill through the backside? I don't know, I might. Let me get a pencil. I'm gonna mark the center points of this. And I'm just doing this on this one for strength because this is actually heavier than the other piece I put on. Actually, come to think of it, I could put a screw through the back side of the other piece there to hold it in place, which I might do. White Vegeta, that's a genius. Yeah, I have a bunch of translucent parts from things like water guns that I've saved, not directly water guns, but I have clear round pieces and translucent pieces that I've saved off of kids' toys. I have drawers of that stuff that when I finally am going to make something that will call for pieces like that, I plan on using them. But yeah, that's how you do it, man. Go find stuff and you're like, hey, I can make other stuff out of that stuff. Sometimes it's a water gun, sometimes it's a piece of plumbing. In my diorama and art supply shopping series that I've done, I think I've done 6 episodes of, or 6 episodes? Yeah, 6 episodes of. I think the last one that I did, I go to a really cool place that's full of all kinds of cool greebles and accoutrements, and you probably have one near you and don't even know about it. So go check out that diorama supply shopping video. And yes, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to go watch the video. But I've said it on previous streams. So if you're here regularly, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, that's good. I like that. Okay. There's about 1 trillion ways I could do this. But since these are heavier pieces, that's why I'm adding stuff and not just straight up gluing it. Like now that I'm thinking about this, I might actually put a screw through the backside here into this to make it whole. Thank you, Magic School Truck. Magic School Truck says, smash the like button, everyone. I mean, don't smash it if you're on your phone. I don't want you to break your phone. But like a light tap or a kiss or a nod or like a thumbs up on the thumbs up, like here it is. You just go thumbs it up. That would be awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you for the help. It's always welcome. Okay, so let me see here. I could actually fill this with a piece of dowel. Or I could just do what I did on the other one. Let me think for a sec. I'm just going to look at my scraps here. See if I can show you my scraps. Let me see here. PVC tube from a window blind one that I cut off. Just love this because it's this tiny little PVC tube. Do I have any larger dowel that will fit? That's too small. I could do the tape method. The tape method works. Square dowel. I think I have some larger dowel down here. Hold on. Do this. The tape method is where you take a smaller piece and you wrap tape around it until it fits in, and then I could even screw it into the threads here. I still want a bigger dowel. Oh, wow, that's like dead on. Look at that. Oop. That might need a little extra super glue. Yep. I just discovered that this needs a little super glue. Let me just do this really quick. Okay. Whoops, that's what I was afraid of. Okay. That's okay. Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. I don't know why I gave Bruce Wayne a British accent just there, but I did. All right. Let me get my accelerator. Hold on. Another extremely invaluable tool, super glue accelerant. Put the super glue in, shoot it with accelerant. Count to, say 5, 3, 4, 5, and guess what? It is not going to come apart. It's only going to keep curing. Instant super glue. Amazing tools. Okay. Yep, there we go. I might even add some more to the backside. I don't know why that's so flexible. Maybe I've done too many layers and there's like air pockets in between them. This stuff actually heats up too. If you put this Instaset on your super glue and then you drop more super glue on it, you actually might see smoke coming off of it. So be wary when you use this. Make sure you don't immediately like try to touch it afterwards, because they actually burn your skin with the chemical reaction. There you go. You see the webbing occurring? That's from the super glue setting so fast. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That ain't moving now. Rock solid. Thank you. You're my bestest friend. Okay, now this won't break if I do this. So, that's got a fun sound. I'll glue in a piece of PVC like I did on the other one. It'll be better if I want to put a screw through it. Okay. I'm going to show you another method for doing what I just did on the other pipe. So that's what we're all about here, is showing different methods, right? So I literally just traced the bottom of the pipe and cut that one out and just rough cut it. I'm going to show you a more accurate way to do it using a compass. This is a really nice compass that I got at a estate sale, and I got it for like 50 cents. But this is like I think think it's like a 20-something dollar compass, maybe even. The cool things with it, do like really, really wide circle, very taut and really well made. And you got the nice adjustable pin and lead piece. So it pays to have nice tools, and I find nice tools at, excuse me, bargain discounts at like estate sales. So even garage sales, I found cool stuff at. So I'm gonna get my ruler and measure this. This is about 3/4 of an inch, give or take a 1/16 because of the threads. Well, inside the threads, it's 3/4 minus a 1/16, which is, what is that? That is 6/8, which is 12/16 minus a 11/16. So we need half of that on our compass. So half of 12/16 is 6/16, which is also 3/8. So I'm going to put this at 3/8 of an inch, which is right, oops, you guys can't see it, right there. And draw myself 2 little circles. Uno, dos. There we go. So those should be the correct diameter to fit. They're a 1/16 of an inch thicker than the threads, but I want them to actually press in. So, and we can get a nice knife and extremely carefully cut these out. I'm just putting pressure while rotating the PVC sheet. Be careful not to let your thumb or anything go behind the blade, especially while you're putting pressure on it. And this is still going to be a bit of a rough cut. There are rotary compass cutting tools you can get, but I've never actually really used them. They're more for softer materials like EVA foam. But I've been tempted to get one and try one. It's like that, literally like that compass, but it's got a blade on one end. I feel like it would take forever with this material because it's a lot stiffer than what they're designed for. I feel like I'd be going around in circles literally for like 40 minutes just trying to cut a circle out. And for these purposes, we don't need it to be crazy. So we will just do this. We'll just trim out where we cut our guideline and we'll go from there. Yeah, now my scissors have a kind of a path to follow. Just do this. There we go. Good enough for government work. There we go. That one was cut a little bit deeper. Deep cuts. There we go. Throw these on the ground and throw this in the scrap pile. Okay, let's see if these are gonna fit good. Will they fit good? Yep. Okay. Super glue again. So in this case, I'm gonna maybe I'll do the accelerant again. Thanks guys for the 23 likes. I really appreciate that. And thank you again, CH Anthony, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. I hope I answered your questions well. And if I didn't, ask again and I will in the chat and I will clarify if you have anything else you want me to answer. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Gluing it to your finger. Oh, look, part of my fingerprint is now on this permanently forever. Doot, 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 doot. I'm just going to fill in around it. I'll let that start to cure. And I'll spray the whole thing with my Instaset in a second. Again, you could be like hyper precise and you could go get washers or little circle. If you already have circles that are cut out, go use those. I'm just using this material because it's light and it's easy to cut and it's fast to glue and it's sturdy when it's all dry. So, okay, we can get this and shoot, Probably too much, actually. Wipe your hand off. And let that cure. And you see it's already starting to cure. Emix 468, I'm covering the hole because I'm going to be gluing it to a wall. I'll show you. And I want a larger surface area. So I'm going to be gluing this. See these two pencil marks I made here? This is going to get glued to this wall. And by having a larger surface area, there's a larger surface area to spread more glue out. And if I want to, I can drill from the back side this way into this with a screw. Star Marvel, the Instacure smells like... Hold on, let me tell you. Kind of smells like... I don't know. Yeah. I guess that's the important question. What do you think, Star Marvel, about that smell? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Does it smell weird to you? I know there's some chemicals, I can't remember which ones, but there's some chemicals I've used. They smell like popcorn. It's really deceiving. So, and there's another one I think I smelled that smelled like strawberries. So, yeah, there's some weird smells out there. Okay, so we just bring this in here. And... okay, and that sounds like Magic School Truck's got the same one. I like your name, Magic School Truck. Okay, we're going to put the EPS glue, this stuff, all over this. Oops, you can't see that, can you? I'm going to lay it on thick here because these are embedded about 1/16 of an inch back from the surface plane of the edge of the PVC tube. Germ 30, that is a good point. 3090, that is a good point. As long as it doesn't smell like burning nose hairs. Yes, then you will be okay. All right, then I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to tack around the edge. Basically just some thin hot glue around the edge to help hold it in place. And we will just press it, set it, and forget it. Run, co. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing I did over there where I'm actually going to fill in this gap with hot glue a little bit. 1 second, guys. And I'm not going to worry about it being super pretty. So we'll do some dry brushing over it later. Good enough for me. Okay. I'll just let this sit here for a minute. Star Marvel 76 says, yes, I would say like a candy factory smell. Yes, all right. I'm not crazy. You're right. It's got a weird sort of chemical candy smell to it. Emix says, so out of the blue question, I started a dio, same idea, but I was wondering any tips for like a drape or something that would be under. Yeah, well, somebody who's in our chat, Star Marvel 76, you can go check out his channel. He has a whole video on his contribution to the tiny art experiment, going over how he made a draped piece. So that's in addition to what I'll show you here in a sec, but he did that. While this is kind of curing, before I move on to the next step, I will talk about that really quick. That's an excellent question. So up here, Star Marvel used a t-shirt. Heck yeah, perfect. So here is some draping that I did. This is very basic. You can get super crazy fancy if you want to, but this is a drape that I did. So these are dowels that are glued in place, and I glued this drape down, which it looks like I need to re-glue this part, on here. And this is made of fat quarters, which I will show you what that is. I don't know why they call them fat quarters, but they're basically just squares of quilting fabric, and they're cheap. So this can come off. Did I not glue this down? No, I did. I just didn't glue this piece on this piece. Okay. So this is just cheapo depot fabric you can get off the shelf at Walmart for a couple of bucks if you don't want to buy an entire 3-yard piece. I'll show you. So this stuff. So that's fat quarter. See that? So you can get these for a couple of bucks at Walmart or Joann Fabrics. If you want to just experiment, if you know what you're going to do, you can obviously go get a higher quality fabric. Use a t-shirt like Star Marvel did. If you have a specific color you want, these come in like a billion colors. And again, if you want to see how I did this whole instructional thing is in the Tiny Art Experiment playlist. I think it's in part Don't quote me on this, maybe part 4 of the tiny art experiment. I show this whole process of cutting this out. I created a quarter or a semicircle template in a sort of a C shape, and then I traced it around, and then I cut it out of one of these big sheets, and then I took a wire brush and I dragged the edges of the wire brush along the edge of the fabric to tear it, and then I soaked it in some dirty paint water to give it a little bit of a darker tone. And I'm gonna probably go back over this with like washes and an airbrush because it didn't end up looking as dark as I wanted to. I probably should have used a dye or a stain. I literally just used some paint water, which got it part of the way there, but not all the way there. And we'll do that here on one of these streams, if not tonight on a future stream. But that's one way to start. Oops. Let me plug in my phone here. Battery's getting low. Stream. Plug in the phone here. Okay, there we go. Should be safe now. Okay. Let me show you another fabric too. Texture is something you might want to consider. Show you what I mean. This is like a nice textured fabric. See those lines in it? So if you want something that's got age to it, you can use this. Or you can get a fine burlap or even gauze. Gauze is used a lot of times to make lightweight fabrics on action figures, different types of gauze. That's what I've got on my scar right here. Like this is literally gauze right here. You can just use gauze and you can dye gauze to get a unique looking color if you want to do that. Depends. So it really depends on what you want it to look like, how sturdy you want it to be, and what the effect is. But there's 3 quick suggestions. Fat quarters from Walmart, something that's got a nice texture in it. You could even use gauze. All right. And you can stiffen the fabric. If you go back and watch part 3, the third live stream I ever did, I go over how to stiffen fabric. Actually, I'll show you what we did. I have it sitting right here. It's right here. Which we're going to give away what I'm about to show you guys before the end of the year here. A little dusty. We have this beauty. At least I think it's a beauty. I'm happy with it. So we have this diorama. This was the first diorama we made live on the channel. It took 3 videos because I actually planned it out. So it went pretty quick and efficiently. But this is a fat quarter. And I show you the whole same process here. I even burned some of the edges with a lighter. And we soaked it in a mixture of Mod Podge and water. And look at this. It's holding its shape. We draped it over this and I clamped it in place so that it held its shape. And there's even some wires up under here holding its shape. You can go watch, I think that's part 3, or number 3, OW Art Live number 3, if you want to see that. Or I would recommend just watching the whole 3 videos, or I have a condensed version of it that's about, I think, 40 minutes, showing the whole build in a quick form, if you want to see exactly how to do that. So what I told you to do with this, you can see how to do with that on OW Art Live number 3. And we're going to give away this diorama before the end of the year. That's going to be my thank you to everybody here. So stay tuned for an announcement on that in the coming weeks. All right. I hope that helps. Probably too much information. But hey, that's what I'm good at, talking a lot. Okay, so show you some fancy advanced craziness I'm going to be doing with this. I don't know if I'm going to have time today, but we'll try. So I glued it. This is a piece of PVC sheet styrene that I glued to the bottom of this, but I actually think I'm going to remove this and I'm going to glue a magnet in here. I don't think I have one in here. No, I'm going to glue a big magnet in here. And then I'm going to create a piece that this can sit on top of this tower with an adjoining magnet so that I don't have to have this glued into the top. This can be removed because all these little edges sticking out make me nervous. And I feel like if I try to transport it as one glued piece, it might break off. And so I'm going to make this removable with a magnet on that piece. And I have an idea to put a PVC coupling for plumbing in there, glue the magnet underneath to create an adjoining piece to make it look like it's got a platform sort of structure. So we might have time to do that today. I don't know. We'll see. If we get there, we get there. So you can see I already have the hole cut for the PVC coupling to go inside of there. And you can see this is just made of styrofoam. And once you put the resin on there, it's very hard. Okay. So let's continue with this. see. Yep, that's actually very stable. Look at that. Move the whole thing around with it already. So that's quite stable. That's reassuring. Hot glue is cured. Okay, so I want to do touch-up. That's what I want to do. I want to do some touch-up around the edge with my heirloom white and my ruined brush. Okay. We're just going to get in here and dirty up the edge. And kind of go over our, that's pretty thick, that's okay. Just wipe it off. There we go. Just get in here with heirloom white, dab it in. Maybe we'll do something like this. Do. Just to add some dust to the top. There we go. There, maybe some dust settled in here. And go under here. Just a little bit. And again, you don't have to do this with spray paint. I'm just doing it to match the color here. You could do it with acrylic paint, you know. Don't feel like you have to do it the exact same materials I am. Just the concept is all I'm trying to get across here. That looks pretty good to me like that. We add washes later, darker colors and stuff. That'll kind of blend it some more. And let me see if I want to. Yeah, see, I need to do a little bit of touch up here. I cracked that on accident when I shipped this. That's doing pretty good. Probably just leave that to cure. Let me get some resin and fix this piece here. That's pretty pronounced. I'll show you the resin and a quick demo. If you want the long demo, you got to go watch the Tiny Art Experiment part. I think it's part 3 and 4. Or maybe it's 2, 3, and 4. It's been a while since I made those, so I can't remember which one. But I go over the grout covering the foam and the cardboard in extreme detail, and that's where you can learn the most. Grout, where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Okay, this product is linked below. On Amazon, they do not have it in bright white. They only had it in like an almond color. So just so you know, the product linked below, I believe, is in an almond color, which is fine. You know, it's actually probably really close to this color, this one I have linked. So if you can find one in white, then go ahead and get that one. But the one same exact product, this simple grout. And the reason I use this is because it's resin based. It's not water based, meaning if you put water on cardboard or water based paint on cardboard, it's going to warp. But this stuff is resin based, and if you use this, it's less likely to warp it, and it will help it hold its shape. You can see, I pointed this out on the stream before. Where is it? Sorry, it's on here somewhere. Ah, here it is. So let me just show you why this works. Here down in the bottom, it says contains silica sand, styrene acrylic polymer, titanium dioxide, and ethylene glycol. So the keywords there are styrene acrylic polymer and ethylene glycol. Those allow this to bond without warping things and accept paint really well and dry really hard. Those are the good things. So a lot of the grouts though are going to be water-based, and so they're going to be wet from water. And this stuff is what I recommend if you're going to coat something like cardboard and foam. I would stick with this. But I have seen people have perfectly good success with water-based grout. But just know that it's going to behave differently, and I have less experience with water-based grout. Pretty much all my experiences with this, so I can't attest to that, but if you wanted to try it and tell us on a future stream how it went, you can do that. Simple green, ready to use, and or simple grout, and just get in here, and this is where you are going to ruin a brush with this stuff too, but that's okay. Yeah. That's what it looks like. And actually, let me get my glove, because I did this by hand when I did it initially. You have to be wearing a glove though if you're going to do what I'm about to do. Do not do this with bare hands. It will jack you up. So I'm going to wear a glove for this. I'm just going to do it with my hands. Actually, you guys should probably be over here. Just going to get a little bit of this. Just some of this stuff feels weird in your hands. It's like, I don't know, it's got a weird feeling. It's meant to be troweled on by a trowel, but which you can use a spreader, which I used when I did this. You'll see in the Tiny Art Experiment videos if you go watch them. But I'm going to fill this in, just do some repair work. While I have this open, I should probably do the repairs on the other piece too. And you can, once you lay this on, you can come back with a wet with water brush and smooth it out. All right, and you'll see that in the Tiny Art Experiment video playlist. You'll see me doing that there, especially on the bigger areas. So just gonna come in here and fill in where I cracked a few pieces. Let's see, anywhere else? I think up here needs a little. And then we'll come back and do touch-up paint when this is dry, which is overnight. So I'll have to touch this up probably off screen. I won't bother to touch this up on next week's stream because you already saw me do it at the beginning. But what you saw me do at the beginning of this stream with the spray paint touch-up, I will do to this off screen, just so I don't have to waste time on a future stream doing it since you've already seen it. Okay. Just smooth this out. This stuff can be a little finicky, but just keep working with it. It'll do what you want. You just kind of have to get the feel for it. I think that's all this one needs. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let me move back to this other one here that we were working on earlier. And do some little fixies over here. All right, that needs some correcting. I learned a lot with this material on this build because I hadn't used it in a long time, or this type of this in a long time, and I hadn't used it on cardboard. But once you get to playing with it, you can kind of see how it behaves, and you'll get used to it like any material. There really is no trick other than to just start using it, and then you kind of get the feel for how it behaves, and then you'll know how to kind of lay it on and how much you can put on one piece, and how it behaves when you use a brush with it, how it behaves when you use a scraping tool. I used a scraping tool to spread a lot of it initially, and then came back with a wet brush to refine the shapes and the texture. And let's see, over here it looks like it needs a little bit. Get a little bit from my bucket. I had a roommate named Jeremy who used to always pronounce words wacky, and I picked up the habit from him, and I've never been able to break it. Like he would say bucket, bucket. I don't know why, that's just the thing that he did. And I've never dropped it. My wife, I think she just ignores it. She never even acknowledges it, even when we were dating. She's just like, whatever. That's just a thing you do. You say words weird sometimes. So if you hear me saying words weird sometimes, you can blame Jeremy, my old roommate. It's his fault. Jeremy, if you're out there listening, which you probably aren't, but that'd be cool if you were. What's up, dude? Okay. Let's see. Where else? Oops, I'm up there. And if you're gonna do a large amount of this, you'll see in the video, go watch the video, I laid down like basically a tarp under this, because if you're doing large areas, you're gonna get droppings of this, and it's gonna harden as it falls, and it's gonna be a pain to clean up if you don't have something like paper or butcher paper or a drop cloth or a tarp or a piece of plastic or a piece of cardboard that you can just pick up and throw away. So I'm not worried about it here because I'm just gonna wipe it off my cutting mat. But on on a larger area, you definitely want something under it that you can just pick up and throw away, because it's gonna make a mess. White Vegeta, absolutely. Fancy Mod Podge. I told you, I got 2 more emojis I gotta upload for you guys. I gotta finish making them in Photoshop, but I had a couple. I don't want to just upload random stuff. I want to think about it and put up stuff that's entertaining for you guys. So I thought of a couple. I gotta finish making them, so hopefully I'll put those for the next stream. I didn't even know that was a thing I could do until they let me start live streaming. They're like, once you get this many subscribers, you can upload custom emojis. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Didn't even know that was a thing. Now I know. My mustache logo got invented because of those emojis. I didn't even have that idea until I was trying to think of emojis, and I was like, hey, I could, if I tried to do, I thought about doing one of my face, but I was like, nah, that would look weird. And then I was like, what if I did like an emoji of my face? And I'm like, nah, that'd be too obvious. And then I was like, what if I did like a reductionist, simplistic vector drawing of my face? And I came up with that fancy logo that White Vegeta just used. And now it is like kind of my secondary logo. I have my main one, which is the O and the W inside of the hexagon, that wonderful invisible element made for me. And then I have sort of my secondary fun one, which is now the glasses and the mustache. So those are kind of my 2 trademarks now. And let me see if I turn this over. Do I need to do any repairs? No, that's good. Let's see. I think the rest of this looks pretty good. Just gonna be painting touch up later. Okay. Just move this, clean up my mess. Where's a brush? I need a brush. Brush, brush, brush. Should have a cleaning brush around here somewhere. I can use this. Thank you guys for those likes again. I appreciate that. And everybody who's been here and has been through here and watching in the future times, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stepping into the Dioramaverse with me again, and all of us. Clean this up here. And maybe I will add those back screws, and maybe we'll do some painting and see how long that takes us and see if we want to do more. Okay. That didn't clean it up very well, did it? That's all right. Get my big brush when we're done. Put that in my trash book. Okay. Okay. Super. And if you put this lid back on, make sure you hammer it down with something so that it stays shut tightly. Because if you don't close this lid on tight, your grout will dry out and you just wasted like 40 bucks. This grout's not cheap. When I coated this project, I think I used 3 of these. So that was 3 of these to make like 14 Star Wars buildings in 1/18 scale. As a baseline for how much of this you might need. If you're doing like 1/12 scale diorama, you could probably get away with like 2 small quart jars and not this big jar, this big gallon. You know, if you're doing like one, you know, sort of detolf shelf sized diorama, you could probably get away with maybe even one quart one of these. But if you plan on doing larger pieces or multiple small pieces, get yourself one of these guys. It's worth the investment because this stuff looks great. All right. Let me get my drill. If I can find it. Hold on. Troy just finished hanging 3 shelves. Excellent. Let me grab, I'm gonna grab my drill. My truck is just right out here outside this door. I'll be right back in a few seconds. This is my DeWalt 12-volt drill that I use every day at work. I love these drills because they have a lot of torque and they're very lightweight, or enough torque for what I do. Maybe not for like super heavy duty work, but they work good for me. Let me put this grout away. Okay. So this is a hex head bit. If you're not familiar, it's a hex head bit because it's shaped like a hexagon. It is for screws with this type of head. Excuse me, I think these are number 8 or number 10 screws. The screw head size, it's magnetic. Use these all the time. And I grabbed these screws. These are machine threaded screws, meaning they're, well, not machine threaded, but fine threaded, sorry. Finer threaded screws. You could get like larger threads where the threads are more spaced apart and bigger. That's great for like wood or cardboard to cardboard or styrofoam into cardboard, but I'm going to go through this piece and this piece over here, and I'm going to go through cardboard into a finer, denser material, which is that PVC sheet. These fine threads will ensure that it grips better and doesn't just push stuff out of the way. So you'll see what I mean. Well, I don't know if I can demonstrate it because I can't see through walls. I don't have Superman's powers, but I'm going to put it on here just to go through. I'm going to be going through this cardboard here on the rear. Going through this cardboard here into that piece of, I keep saying wanted to say styrene, sorry, PVC sheet. So it's this thick, and if I go through it, this will go into that PVC sheet and grip it tight to the cardboard, and that's what I want. I don't think this is too long. No, that's actually perfect length. So I'm just going to kind of find my space here. I didn't drill through because I didn't think of this till afterwards, but that's okay. So I'm just going to kind of find my space here. It's going to be about right there. I'm just drawing a circle for myself, and I'm just going to hold this in place on this side and drill carefully. There we go. And now this is drilled in place. Even if I were to crack the glue off, it's not going anywhere. This is now sucked onto the cardboard. So that will ensure that not flopping around like crazy. And I'm going to do the same thing on these two with the other screws. You don't have to have this drill if you're going to use a drill. You can get an old drill. Honestly, for lightweight miniature work, any drill will work just fine. I love these drills because I've used them about 1.5 billion times. For 14 years. Well, not 14 years. I used to use Hitachi 12 volts, but those finally crapped out on me. So I've used these DeWalts for about probably about 11 years. So go here. And these 12 volts, you have to buy them online. Well, at least in my region, they don't sell these 12 volts in stores anymore, but you can buy them online. Everything in the stores now is like 20 volts. I don't know why, but that's just what they're pushing. Okay, so I just marked this first tube hole, and then we're going to go over here and go in here. Nope, too high. I can feel that. That's okay. We'll go lower. Oops. Here I am trying to do it left-handed. I'm not left-handed. It's okay. It's okay. Nope. My alignment guess was not right. Let me try it lower. Can feel it pushing out a little bit on the other side. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see how we did. Pop away. Yeah, it popped away a little bit. That's okay. I'll just tighten the screw down some more. Just backing the screw out. And push it back. There we go. So it popped off, but I fixed it with tension, so I pulled the screw back out, pushed that in, put the screw back in, and then it sucked it even tighter. So the seam that occurred when I pushed it out from that side just closed itself right back up. And that EPS glue is still drying, so it's not going to break. It's actually going to dry better. White Vegeta, I lost the magnetic bit in the insulation of an attic, bought an off-brand. Definitely not the same as DeWalt. Yeah, that happens. Star Marvel, a few hours later. Yes, sir. Okay, so now that's nice and solid. This one's nice and, oops. This one's nice and solid. And glue is drying, things are happening, babies are crying. Just kidding. Okay. So maybe we can paint some details on here. I have not decided on a color scheme. New Future Customs. Hey guys, Oilers, hope you're all well. Thank you so much, New Future Customs. Thanks for coming by, man. I think we're all doing all right. A few hours later. Sort of the goofy SpongeBob French accent, right? Okay, so I have not decided on a color scheme aside from the brown on this. I noticed Moss. What the heck is the one that Cobb Vanth is from? Moss. I can't remember what it's called now. Moss Isley has like browns, and Moss Espa I think has reds and browns, and Moss Pelgo. Thank you so much, Magic School Truck. Moss Pelgo, where Cobb Vanth is from, has greens as its color scheme. So I don't know if I want to try a new color and freak out the Star Wars world, or try a color we've already seen for, like, you know, edging detail and like maybe Arbesh words and stuff. I think I'm just going to do like a pattern on this, nothing too crazy. Maybe something that looks kind of, I don't know, pseudo Native American or something. I probably won't spell anything out in Arbesh yet. I have an archway that I'm going to do that on, but not on this. But just do something wrapping around here and then do it over there. And I want to pick a height that I can do it consistently at here. So over here we go 6 inches. 6 inches is a good height. And let me go over to the magic drawer of magical paint magicness. No magic necessary. And pick a color. Help me pick a color, guys. What color should I go with? It doesn't have to be like the whole motif running through the whole place. It can just be for this area. But I'm trying to decide if I want to, look, we could go like diamond purple. A color that would look nice. What do you guys think? Should I go with something we've seen in like a mint? I think the Moss Pelgo was like a minty green. And then we've got like a burnt umber. And then we've got like a burnt, I think spiced berry. This is the color I used on our first diorama, where I did the Arbesh and spiced berry. I feel like spiced berry, though, it's like I want to do something that pops a little bit differently. So I'm seeing teal or green or purple. I like purple. I feel like purple and teal would be kind of cool. Those are two of my favorite colors. Orange, purple, teal, and orange. We're using orange flags. The fabric I used was all orange. So I'd like to do something, maybe something that complements orange. Orange is great, but I did the flags in orange. And orange against the tan might not stand out enough. So, but I like what you're thinking. Maybe we'll do, let me try purple and teal. If it looks stupid, I'll paint over it. I'll just spray paint over it. I'm going to go purple and teal. I don't think I've seen that yet. Or at least not a lot. Troy says, okay, teal. Here's Tuscan teal. So I might mix up well, let me stick with colors that are solid. I don't have to custom mix every time. What color is this? Mosaic blue. That kind of looks like purple, though. Let me grab just straight up purple. What purple is this? Pansy. It's a nice color. Makes me feel manly. What blue is this? This is just island blue. Nice, Star Marvel. You know, I used to love this color combination as a kid. I don't know why, I just always gravitated towards it. Okay, look at all that mess. All right. These look nice. If it looks like, then we'll just paint over it. We can always do that, right? Where's my palette? Here it is. I might even sketch a design onto this too and then paint over my design just to make sure it looks cool. So I'm gonna do this and do this. Oh, white Vegeta. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Maybe on another, I think on this building set, I'm going to go with something crazy popping. But if I don't like it, we'll switch to something more traditional. But, you know, if we stuck to something that was traditional, we wouldn't have Star Wars because Star Wars is very untraditional, right? So look at this. This is already, it's already hardening up. Okay. So 6-inch height from the bottom. I don't know what that is in centimeters. Sorry, friends from the rest of the world. All right, just do something just very lightly, just so I know where my line needs to be roughly. And we'll carry it around. Inspired by the Lagoon spray paint I used in the Danger Room. Excellent. Cool, man. Yeah, I love that color. I love those colors. Those colors, that gradient of blues and teals. That turned out really cool. I was happy with that. And I'm glad you liked it. All right. Maybe we'll do like a band. I'm literally just making this up as I go, guys. So a band. And I don't know. I feel like some combination. Let me sketch out an idea really quick before I draw it on here. Troy, you're right. Untraditional. Let's see. Let me just get a little idea here. So if we do like a band, here's the building wall. Here's this piece right here. Coming out. Here's the building. It's curving around like that. And we've got this. Whoops, didn't draw that right. Okay. And there we go with the thing and that other thing and that thing. And okay, so we've got the band going around. Oops. Like that. And then what if something like, I was just thinking like lines and dots. You know, kind of like some type of sort of kanji looking thing, but maybe that it repeats. Or is maybe not repetitive, but something, I don't know, something like that. Maybe with an occasional curve in it, a dot. Make up some kind of language. Maybe this is E.T.'s language. E.T. was in the Senate in episode 1, right? Yeah, I think something like that would work. Just lines and dots and curves. And so let's do an alphabet. Let me do like a, there's the sun rising. There's the sun setting. There's the sun eclipsing. There's a C with a dot. And there's a C with a smaller C. There's a reverse C with a dot, a C and a smaller C. Maybe a C with a line through it and a dot. No, C with a line through it. We'll just do the C with a line through it. And we do like a line and 2 dots, and a line and 2 dots, and a line with a dot on either side, and a line with a dot on either side. 2 lines and 2 dots, and 3 dots in a line. Something like that. Yeah, we'll do that. Look at that. We invented a language in 5 seconds. I'm a concept designer. Hire me, Lucasfilm. Just kidding. All right. And let me get a finer brush. There we go. Let's start with, let's see, let's do teal on top and we'll do the language in purple. Yeah, let's do teal on top. If I have any left. Yeah, maybe I have to mix them up. Okay, that's apparently dry. Hold on a sec. Back to the paint. we'll try this Bimini blue. This might be too bright, but I can always paint over it. Try this. Can always darken it up. Let me darken it up now. I don't like how bright that is. Little tiny bit of black. Like that. Let's see. It's probably going to turn more gray than blue, but we'll find out. Yep, that's all right. We just add some more blue back in. Yeah, you're right. I just scared that it's going to be too blue. Too much black. All right, let me just see what this looks like. If it looks like poo, then I'll just start with the blue and watch and tone it down. Is this going to look like I want? Or is it going to look like a weird acrylic pour? Yeah, it's too gray. Okay. That black is too strong. It's too dense. Okay, we'll just do the blue. We'll do the blue, and then we'll just tone it down later. I could also do it with a shoe polish wash if I wanted to. All right, all right. We want it to look like it's... Actually, we want it to look like it's been chipped away, too, so I might not paint a fully thick straight line. Oh, you know what? It's actually toning itself down as I put it onto this, so should have just went with my gut. Doot. And I am sort of dry brushing this on because I do want it to look like it's flaked off a little. Actually, this looks cool. This is looking like Egyptian hieroglyphs to me. It's looking like the blues on the hieroglyphs in Egypt. Man, I've got some cool pictures from Egypt in some of the palaces in Luxor, and where the ceilings facing downward, they're out of the sun, and so they never got hit by the sun, and they're still almost as bright as they were when they were the day they were painted. Plug my phone back in. Battery's getting weak. All right, that looks pretty cool, actually. Okay. I guess I got too nervous. That looks good. I like that. We do this line. So this is Bimini blue. These are just the Walmart paints, too. I love using cheap paint. One of my favorite tools. Cheap paint is the best paint ever. There we go. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. All right, let me do this other side. Okay. And actually having that pencil under there adds a little bit of character too. Just a little bit of randomness. Yes, it is. You can thin it, you can thicken it. When you get in the more expensive paints, they're so well made that they're hard to make do different things other than just paint a color. But if all you're doing is painting a painting, hey, get the expensive paints. Or painting a mini or painting a model kit, that's where the expensive paints work out well. This has got that. This is definitely giving me the Bob Ross feelies here. It's relaxing. Actually relaxing watching my own hand do it. Don't let me fall asleep on myself, guys. If you can yell through the comments to keep me awake, go ahead. Maybe I can pretend this is Niamos. Or if you guys have been watching Andor, but episode 7, where he goes to the beach planet town of Niamos and goes on a little Star Wars holiday. Not holiday special, but Star Wars Holiday. Troy, you're right. It is a therapeutic hobby. It really is. And I know a lot of people do this. That's why I try to do things drama-free, because a lot of people do this as their escape, including me. And once you start veering into doing it as a form of work, you gotta guard yourself so that it doesn't become a something draining. You want it to still be fulfilling. I noticed that in myself. But yeah, this is a form of therapy and relaxation for people, so we'll try to keep everything as drama-free as possible. Sometimes I get people coming into my comments. It's actually pretty rare, thankfully. I'm very appreciative of that. But I've had a couple people come into my comments on Instagram and YouTube and be just dramatic or rude for really no reason at all, and then you try to kind of approach them from a point of reasonableness and talk to them, and they just won't drop the act, and so you just gotta go, okay, cutting ties with you, sorry. Exactly, Troy. I know a lot of people collect because it's therapeutic just to collect things. Careful with that, though. It can become untherapeutic really, really quick if you know what I mean, you know? You're like, honey, why do we have no money in our bank account? It's my therapy, dear. I bought 12 hot toys this month. I don't know if you call that therapy. So be careful with that. You don't want therapy to turn into a vice. Okay, that looks cool. I'm super happy with that. And probably leave the inside edge blank. Let me do this. Expensive therapy. You're right. Hey man, look at my back wall. That's kind of what I kept. Plus a couple of little boxes of things. I sold off a ton of collectibles last year. I was like, we're done. We're done. Well, not done. We're done, but like we're got to take a back seat here. I got to focus on doing good art for people. I sold 17 statues at 120 12-inch or 6-inch action figures and about 15 or 14 hot toys. And I don't regret it at all. I'm very happy with what I kept, and I've got a couple things since, and I'm kind of swapping things out. It's actually keeping it less stressful for me. It was getting a little stressful for me. I did have a little bit too much, so I had to dial it back. So I'm speaking from experience when I say these things. I've had the experience of over-collecting or letting it become something that was a drain on me rather than something therapeutic. I'm just touching up this little spot off screen here. Hold on. Okay, that looks kind of cool. Boom. That looks nice. All right. I'm going to do the blue line on the other side before I move on to the purple. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm tempted to just stick with blue or go with blue and mixed berry. We'll see. Or all three colors even. Okay. I don't know why I just moved those into my way, but I did. Okay. Actually, I have an idea for this one. It's a little different than that side. I'm going to go up 6 inches, and then I might follow the outside curve of this. So go up to 6 inches. And 6 inches over here. And then I think going around like that. Yeah, that'll look cool. 6 inches here. It's going to trace all the way around this. Let me move this here. Do that. Okay. Actually, I might move this over here too, just to make it interesting. Move it down around this and over, just for the fun of it. So I'm going to go down here and over. Here, and we'll go That should be cool. See if I can get the whole thing in one shot for you guys. There we go. Well, back it up a little bit more. Let's do that. Okay. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the Tatooine pencil trace line thing. Whatever. Forgive me, I can't see your guys' comments at the moment. Not that you're saying anything anyways, but if you are, hold on. I'll be back in a moment. Euler's not here right now. He's out painting. I'll be back in a moment. It looks so pretty. I'm much happier with this than I thought it would be. I thought I needed the darker teal, but as it dries on these browns or beiges, it's looking pretty good. Happy accidents. That's one of the emojis I'm making for you guys. Something Bobby Rossi. Gotta keep the spirit of Bob Ross alive in this. Channeling my inner Bob. If I was really channeling my inner Bob, I'd put a big tree right here. No, just kidding. Thanks again, guys, for being here, sticking with me. This is a lot of fun to do, and I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. For those of you, again, who are channel members listening now or in future times, appreciate you. You know, slowly trying to evolve this as I have the means into actual real work, and it's closer. Well, it's there, but it's, you know, it's closer and closer to being where it's the only thing I have to do, which is still going to take some time. But your support definitely helps me get there, guys. I appreciate that. I know you guys work hard. You work hard for your dollars and cents just like I do, so it means a lot. So keep trying to do meaningful things on here. Make it worth your time to be here. And anybody wondering, I have two tiers on my channel memberships. I do Workshop Builder and Workshop Master. And the Builder is early access to any video I do that's non-toy related. The toy stuff is kind of like news, and it kind of needs to go out when I get it. I don't have a way to give early access to shorts. I don't think YouTube even has that provision at all to anyone. But if that happens, I will give access to my shorts to my channel members first. But that is not like a possibility on YouTube yet. And I do a lot of members only posts. I haven't done in a few weeks because I've been pretty busy catching up stuff, but I've started up again here. But I have done them, but not as many as I was doing a month ago. But just trying to, I don't like to share something unless it's like meaningful. So, you know, I could share pictures of my dirty shop floor and just be like, yep, there's a bunch of massive carving that I did, but it doesn't look like anything yet. So I try to share meaningful posts with the members, and I do share some previews and stuff with the Workshop Masters separate from all channel members. And the Workshop Masters, I give them their own separate video. I trying to do one a quarter for now, meaning one every 3 months, give or take a few weeks. So trying to stick to that roughly for a year. For the Workshop Masters, that's just for them. And then there are channel members only videos, and I'm, as time allows for it, I will continue to do more of those as my thank you to them. So that's what I do right now. And as I have more time, and maybe not anytime soon, but maybe down the road, as the support grows and the channel keeps growing, maybe I'll do members only live streams. That's probably quite a ways away, but that is something I would like to do down the road. I'd probably add that to a new tier as well. So, but that's something we might do down streams. And like I said, I do a lot of members only posts where I share what I'm working on or what I just did or how to do the thing I just showed. And sometimes it's a preview of something, a commission I have coming up or that I did or I'm working on. I shared a couple last week of something that I've been working on. I actually was asked to halt on that project, so we'll see if I get to start back up on that project because circumstances changed for the client, so we'll see where that goes. But I'm about to start another urban diorama. I have not done an actual urban piece in a little bit. Like, and I'm urban, I mean like brick and concrete and stuff like that. It's been a minute. So I will be doing a urban piece as a commission soon, and I'm probably going to make a few videos out of that for the channel. So the members will probably get a members only video, and then a couple of videos about individual little tasks I did on that commission. Because I'm going to do a couple things I haven't done in a long time, or I might do differently. Some awnings and maybe a couple of lit signs, if I can find a way to work them in with the client's budget. So I won't reveal what it is exactly though, because it will give too much away. But they know what it is, and my commissioners, they all know what it is. I keep them updated. So hopefully I'll be able to show some of that before the end of the year. I'll be starting that in probably a week, getting the stuff cut for that. I'd like to do a video of just doing entire section of brick on XPS foam by hand and do it in real time and just show everybody how long it takes after you've done it for so many years. Because I feel like everyone wants to try to find as many shortcuts as possible, and I do too. For like, some people have those cool brick stamping tools, or they have laser cutters, which are excellent. But I've done it so much, I've gotten pretty efficient at it by hand. And so I think I may film myself doing at least part of this commission I'm going to do, this urban commission, doing the brick by hand entirely, and just not cut it, just leave it uncut and raw, and might not even talk. I might just put some music over it and let people see exactly how I do it and how long it takes me in real time for like a 12 by 18 piece of foam, or even bigger, maybe a 24 by 24 piece of foam, just to give people a baseline of how long it realistically takes and to see it completely demonstrated. Because I don't think I've done, the only urban thing I've done live is the streets, which is, I think that was OW Art Live number 10 or 12, I don't remember, but that one was the street. But I've never done the brick live, I don't think, so hopefully we will do that. It's all about timing though, and making sure it'll work for me to film it and edit it, because sometimes I just have to get things done and I don't have time to film it. So let me move this over. I'm going to finish this line and I'll check out your comments, guys. Hang on a sec. And you could do this, what I'm doing right now, a ton of different ways. You could do this with a stencil. You could do this with an airbrush. You could mask it off with tape. You could use paint on, brush on, peel off latex. You could do this with a pen. If you had paint pens, you can do it with paint pens. I have paint pens. I'm just doing it with a brush because it's kind of traditional and that's the way we're doing it. But if you see me doing this and you're like, why didn't he do it this way? Try it that way, whatever way you're thinking. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. It's just a way to do it. As I always say, this is just a way to do another version some other time. So let's back up, see what that looks like. That's pretty cool. A little zigzag over there. Maybe I'll do like a little box over here. I feel like a little box would be kind of cool. Just a box. Or maybe just some down lines like that. That's kind of cool. There we go. Yeah, that's enough. 1, 2. They're like stanzas in a paragraph. Felt like it needed some more. Once I saw that other side with the zigzags, it felt a little too boring. Not that I wasn't happy with it, but felt like I could do more with just blue. We can add our own flair. This is our own thing. We're not trying to replicate. I don't like to replicate. I like to. I'll try to copy a certain style or aesthetic, like the Tatooine sort of aesthetic. But I don't like to necessarily replicate. You know, a lot of times when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, can you make exactly this from this exact thing?" Unless it's something I'm extremely passionate about, I usually try not to do it because it's actually, in my opinion, it's harder to replicate something, and I never feel like I get it quite right. So I recently did a Simpsons Androids Dungeon replica, and it's like without making that a full diorama, I feel like I can't really nail it because I don't have the depth inside of the store, and I don't have all kinds of different details I wouldn't be able to put in unless I made a full diorama. And this was like this was an art piece done in a frame, and so I had to find a way to sort of fake the depth. And there's different clever ways that can be done, but it's like I did it and I'm like, I like this, but it's like, again, I feel like I wish I could have made this a full diorama, you know, with walls and an interior. I feel like it would have served my skill set better being done that way. One right here. A little further down. That looks pretty cool. Do I want to do something up here? Yes. Do a little line right there. A little line right there. Just alien aesthetics. That's what I'm going to call this. What would space aliens paint? Do that right there. I'll do a little one right here and a little one right there, different lengths. Yep, that's good. I'm good with that. And I like the simplicity of that. Okay, I'm gonna leave those alone. I like that. All right, time to see if the purple's gonna look dumb or not. We will find out. And let me see if I want to do this mosaic blue or this regular purple. The mosaic blue looks really purple, so maybe it'll look good next to the other blue, though, if it's got a blue tone in it. That's pretty purple. Let me put the purple next to that. I guess it's not as purple. So there's the mosaic blue and the straight purple. I'm gonna go with the mosaic blue. That feels more complementary to that, like in the same what's the word? I can't think of the word. Not value, but maybe value. Maybe that is the right word. All right, let's go back to the simple one here. And do some of our language that we created here. Palette. Yeah, there you go. Palette. Michael Dumas, thank you for being here. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Live long and prosper yourself, man. We're inventing alien languages and alien native motifs. What's the status of the broken street tile? Members only jackets. Star Marvel doesn't work tomorrow. Party at Star Marvel's house. Wife Vegeta, are you asking about the cast bases and street tiles? I did mention that at the beginning of the stream. I know you weren't here, but I am going to be putting those up for pre-order, hopefully, by the end of the week. I will have an announcement, and I told you, channel members, you guys will get 24-hour notice before I do that, which might be sooner rather than later, because I'm going to film a toy unboxing tomorrow, and I'm going to put my base in that toy unboxing to kind of spread the word to all the toy collectors. So, but I won't put it up for pre-order without giving you guys notice first. So my goal is to have that up this week. I wanted to have the first batch ready to ship out before I put them up for pre-order. I also had to get a couple of logistical things handled before I put them up for pre-order, just for shipping reasons and packaging reasons, just to make sure everything went correctly and I didn't have to hold up any orders. And it's going to go up as a pre-order because I have to make them in batches of like 6 to 12, and I can only make about 6 every 7 to 10 days, depending on the time I have. And so I'm going to do it as a pre-order and give people a limit when they could expect it at the latest, and try to beat that limit. You know, maybe a couple of months, 3 to 4 months. And so that'll all be in the description and in the premiere video where I announce the sale on Instagram and on YouTube. But channel members, you guys are going to notice before I even do that, so you know to look out for it. And those will go out for pre-order in my Etsy store, which is linked below, so that everybody's purchases will be protected. And if we need to do a return or there's a damage, it can all be handled through that. Their system's already in place, and like shipping labels can get created there, and it'll be smooth for everybody. We won't be trying to like wheel and deal on PayPal, friends, and only on Instagram. We're going to do it this way. And eventually, my goal is, if this goes well, by the way, if the selling of these custom bases that I made that are hand painted by me, made in America, all the materials are bought in America, and cast and replicated, if that goes well, I will make more. I will do more of them, maybe a couple a year or something like that, and do more and more of them and different ones. And I'll take suggestions from people and ones to try, if people are interested. But this one is meant to work in pretty much any scale, really, too. I had it designed with like a larger figure in mind, but it could work for small scales as well. I think there was something else I was going to say and I trailed off there, but anyways, that's okay. All right, alien language, here we go. Ooh. I'm doing dashes and I already like that better. Pretty thick line there, that's okay. Going calligraphy style here. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I feel like it needs to be a little denser though, more packed into that space. Do that. Oh, what I was going to say is, if everything goes well, and I do more of these and this one goes well, I will maybe run it through my own site, and I'll set up a Shopify account so that we can have the same provisions as Etsy, but on my own separate platform. That would be my goal eventually, but that's still a ways away. There's only so many hours in a day, so I got to keep this stuff going for all of you fine people, and I do that when I have time. I got commissions, I got the live streams, I got my regular job that I run my small business with, that I'm trying to slowly migrate out of. So as I have time, more of those things will happen. Do a little corner piece here. How's that? There we go. And we'll do a line with 2 dots, and then a line and 2 dots. Then we'll do a reverse C, oops, there we go, with a line through it. And we'll do 2 dots and a line, and then another C, oops, a little too big, that's okay. And a line. And 2 dots, and then 3 dots, and then we'll do a line and a line, and a line, and another line, and a dot. There we go. And a couple of dots in a line and another line. And then how about 2 vertical lines? Yep. Making a language. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just design. Maybe it's not a language. What species in Star Wars do you guys think would come up with this design? Any species come to mind? I know Grand Admiral Thrawn would study this and know how to exterminate their species once he finished studying it, right? That's his specialty in the books. Okay. We'll do a line here, a couple dots there. I feel like I need to do something in this pocket. Line. Maybe an upward, a smiley face. Accidental smiley face. Look, that's literally a happy accident. We did a happy smiley face. Okay. What do you guys think? Is this looking all right to you guys, or does it look like... I'm okay if it looks like... I'm liking it. It's turning out differently than I thought, but I think it's good. Ethorian. That's a good one. Thank you, Magic School Truck. Who drives the Magic School Truck? It's not Miss Frizzle, right? Because that's the Magic School Bus. Who drives the Magic School Truck? I must know. Ethorian. That's a good one. I don't know. I'm blanking out on Star Wars races. Like, once I get off the stream, I'll probably think of 30. Yusan Vong. Yeah, Mr. Drizzle. Mr. Drizzle. Excellent. The Yusan Vong. Yeah, I think they do have their own language on the Wikipedia. White Vegeta recently picked up a placemat from Dollar Tree because I like the pattern and texture. Reminded me of bamboo flooring for some type of dojo. I am assuming you think in a similar pattern. Oh yeah, absolutely. I have bought many a thing from the Dollar Tree to repurpose. Actually, you can get really nice fine mesh and sieves there for air conditioning grates. So the oil splatter guards you can buy there, you cut that out with scissors and glue it behind like a metal, or a plastic or metal frame you make. It's excellent for creating like an air conditioning or a swamp cooler in miniature. And I've also taken like robot toys from there and done stuff. Hold on, I see your comments there, guys. Let me just do this. Your work truck, excellent. Troy, never considered bright colors. Yeah, I thought it would be a nice change. A lot of Star Wars that we've seen is done not with bright colors as far as on the desert stuff. But I was thinking of ancient Egypt, and ancient Egypt is full of bright colors in their hieroglyphs. So why not, right? That was a nation that was, in the middle of a desert, and they found a way to use plants and dried beetles that got crushed up, mixed with oil and, stuff like that. So why not Star Wars? Being ground, crushed up Tusken Raider pellets mixed with Rancor armpit grease to make their paints. I don't know, No one knows. It's a mystery. I feel like my design got a little bit bigger on this side. That's okay. Here we go. go. Cool. I'm glad we've converted you, Troy, to the bright side of the diorama. Let's see. Okay. Almost there on this side. There we go. My lines got thicker over here. That's okay. Okay. There is one. No, I'm not done. What am I talking about? I gotta do this spot up here. I'm not done with anything. Flip this up. What I can do. There we go. Me and Mrs. Euler's workshop watched Spider-Man last night. The first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Green Goblin. Neither of us had watched that in forever. And my goodness, if that movie is still not incredible. And if you're not a fan, I totally respect that. But, man, just watching that again was like, man, this takes me right back to high school. Because it came out when I was new in high school, when I was early in high school. I think like right at the beginning of my sophomore, or into my sophomore year. That was so cool to watch again. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Boom. There it is. That looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. We add washes and scrape it down and stuff. I think it'll be even more complete looking. Maybe I'll just do this whole one upright. See if I can do this upright. I don't have the steadiest hand in the world, so these will be the learning pieces where I do all my designs here. There we go. Not bad. Made up a new symbol right there. Okay. Turn this way. Get creative over here. Getting into some Fifth Element looking shapes over here. Earth, wind, water, fire. Leave a like if you love the movie The Fifth Element. Leave a thumbs up if you like the movie The Fifth Element. Leave a comment if you don't like it. And leave a thumbs up if you don't like it. Almost there. Almost there. Getting better with the brush. Oh, maybe not. I said that, and then I got a big splotch. Spoke too soon. That's okay. I'm learning to. There we go. Star Wars. I think I might leave this blank just to create some negative space, and then I'll do more design maybe over here. Maybe I'll do one like up here or something. Dot, 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 dot. It's in a little bit closer here. Multipass. Lilo Dallas Multipass. Absolutely. Corbin Dallas. Yeah, I think I've watched that movie about 2 trillion times. And I got to meet Evil Ted Smith, or Ted Smith. He goes by Evil Ted on his channel. I got to meet him at Silicon. I think I talked about that before. And he worked on the miniature models for the Fifth Element, the cities, and like the futuristic New York, and the Corbin Dallas miniature taxi cab model specifically. He worked on that, and the Floston Paradise cruise ship model. That was so cool. I was like, dude, you made some of my stuff that made me want to do art. It's weird talking to some of those guys because they're literally just like you and me. They're just creative people that were invited to go work on projects or hired to work on projects where they got to be extra creative. And, you know, they made some incredible stuff. And now they're well known for it. And, yeah, they all these people like me know them for it, and you know, are sort of fanboying over them about it. And they're just like, dude, I'm just a guy like you that made stuff. So it's nice to talk to some of those guys. They're very normal. They really don't have egos or anything. They're just like, oh yeah, no, we worked on that. That was a lot of fun, and I didn't know how big the movie was going to be, but it was fun making the model. You know, that's how they really are about stuff. It's sort of cool to talk to them because they're just like, yeah, I didn't know. I was just making stuff. They said make a robot, so I designed a robot. Didn't know it was going to be the main battle droid in episode 1. You know, that's how Kim Smith was. She's the one who kind of came up with that main design, and she was just like, oh yeah, I had no idea that it was going to be like a featured thing. I just was like, here's a robot. And they liked it, so they used it. It's reassuring to me as well. You know, it's like there's no special magical thing if you ever get invited to do that. You're just keep doing your thing, and people might invite you to help out. And that's kind of how they all got their job. They knew somebody that knew they did that, and someone was like, hey, I know that guy that can do that. Hire him. Okay, cool. What's this Star Wars thing we're working on? Just some space movie. Oh, okay, cool. I don't care as long as I get to make models. What? It's the biggest movie ever, and people are going to buy toys of the thing I designed? That's like what happened to all these guys. Joe Johnston and Phil Tippett and stuff. It was like they designed these creatures, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. They just wanted a bunch of space creatures, and now it's like, you made how much off of my design? Wow. But they don't care. They were just happy to be creative. George made all the money, right? Looking forward to going to Adam Savage's Silicon again when next time he does it, because that was a lot of fun, meeting a lot of those people there and being able to talk to them one-on-one. That was totally worth the trip. So I hope he does it again next year, and there's even more people, more industry pros to talk to, because that was just super cool to meet all those people. I got to talk to Phil Tippett one-on-one, and John Goodson, and Kim Smith, and who else did I talk to? Don Bees, Adam Savage. But yeah, anyways, if you guys look up Silicon by Adam Savage, it's literally spelled silicon like the element silicon, but it's Silicon Convention, Siliconvention. If you guys are not that far away, it's definitely worth a trip. It's really cool. Really, really cool. Definitely want to go to that again. I learned a lot from just hearing them talk about materials that they used and their approach to things, and how they basically was like not stressing about things. They were just like, you want to make that? Okay, I'll make it. And just diving in and having fun doing it. There's no magic formula other than being passionate about the thing you're doing and being sincere about it. I think something I took away from that. Be who you are. Don't try to be something, you know, don't think you need to be something you're not. I should say that. You know, just do your thing. I met Ben Eady as well. Ben Eady has worked on a bunch of films for a long time. Ben's got a cool YouTube channel too. It's funny, it's not bigger because like he's like a big deal. I mean, to me, he's doing a lot of cool special effects things. He's an on-set engineer, the kind of guy that figures out how to like blow stuff up, as well as like make 3D printed chainmail and stuff. That's one of his videos on YouTube. Is the 3D printed chainmail that he made, and I think it was also featured on Adam Savage's channel. Tested, but I got to meet him. He's pretty cool. Let's see. These little dealies. And props to history. I got to meet him. He's made some cool stuff. He's a curator of historical props and makes props for film. His Instagram is really cool. He's actually, I think he's in London or in the UK right now for a propstore.com auction, and he's showing off some of their incredible pieces, and they have some original props from some movies that you all know. If you go to Props to History, it's called Props to History, one word, on his account on Instagram. He is showing off some incredible pieces from films, miniatures, and like props that as soon as you saw him, I won't spoil it for you, be like, hey, I know what that is. He's cool. I got to meet him. He shared some funny stories about props he got to make for films that he didn't know how they were going to be used, and when he found out how they were used later, he's like, I would have never made you that. Inappropriate things. And it was like, ugh, that's weird to hear. But he's like, yeah, I wasn't sure how they were going to use that, and then when I found out later how they used it, I was kind of disgusted. So it's kind of weird to hear his funny stories. Almost there. Closing the gap. All right, guys. I'm like I said, I'm sort of like hypnotizing myself here, doing this. So I'm trying to keep myself talking here because I'm super zoned into this. We'll look at the chat in a moment here. I just want to get to a good stopping point. And I want to do this little area in here. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Me too, Star Marvel. Okay. I'm liking that, where it's at. Whew, that's probably a good place to wrap up the stream here, because I'm kind of zoned out from doing that, and we'll work on this tower next week. I will pull some PVC pieces I need and the magnets I need for that. So let me back out here and take a look for y'all. So we added that, and that, and that. We screwed that through the back, that through the back. We glued them. We did some touch up, and we on some of the edges on these pipes, and then we painted this sort of Native American, but alien American, Native alien. Excuse me, that did not come out right. Native alien motif here in that style. So that turned out better than I thought it would. And I think when we add grease and washes and things, and we'll do some hanging wires next time, maybe just a couple. You know, I don't think this side needs it, but maybe a couple over here. And then we'll do some painting touch up on those. I'll probably do that off screen, like I said. And then next time maybe we'll just focus on this tower. We'll do some painting motifs on it, add a couple of piping details, magnetize that, finish cleaning up the fabric, and yeah, that'll be the stream next time. Let me flip this around. Hola. So I always I was staring at my hand as I was pointing to stuff, but I always liked wearing bands like this as a kid. I always felt like I was a ninja. I don't know why, but I'm wearing this, and I told my wife, I told Mrs. Euler's workshop, I'm kind of used to wearing this now. After wearing this for 2 weeks, and now I feel like I want to make a leather band with a cool design on it to just wear now, because I'm so used to having this. And my lipoma's gone, which I had that big, well, not little, but that big lipoma here for 18 years, and it feels naked. So maybe I'll make like a video, and I'll do like a cosplay piece, or like a steampunk band where I do a band with a couple of snaps and like a metal piece and some kind of cool detail. I don't know, just for the fun of it. Maybe I'll do that for a stream or for a video, you know, maybe sometime later this year or beginning of next year. So guys and gals and peeps and peoples, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for putting up with me and for your suggestions. And I hope that I can see some of you at the International Market of Miniature Artisans in Las Vegas. The link's below to check out their website. They are closing vendor spots December 15th. So if you do want to go and you do want to be a vendor, you can rent a table, 2 tables, you can get power and all that stuff and sell your wares. You can also just come and check it out. I think tickets are $12 to get in, and you can buy stuff. You can buy things. People are there to sell. It's not just like an observational event. It's a place to go and buy like fine crafted miniatures and displays and like miniature props, and they have dollhouse stuff, of course, and all kinds of cool stuff in the miniature world. It's all miniatures, all scale stuff. They currently have 62 vendors, including myself. I'm sure they're going to have more, so it sounds like it's going to be a big event. And they have group rates for the hotels. And you, as a patron, if you don't even want to go and sell, you want to be a patron, he's got group rate codes that you can call the Gold Coast Hotel where it's at, and I think it's like $70 a night, which is pretty good for Las Vegas. He got a great rate. So if you wanted to go and you're not that far away, get yourself a $70 room, check it out, hang out with the family, go play some arcade games down in Vegas, go check out a show, and head home. So I'll be there for a week with Mrs. Euler's workshop hanging out. We'll have the tiny art. What we're doing right now will be on display live in person. You can come and you can take photos and see it. So hopefully I'll see at least a couple of you there. If not, I will do a live stream, probably a couple from there, and show off what I'm doing for those of you who are too far away or who can't make it. That's it. I think that's all I got. You guys are awesome. Thanks you so much for your support. And yeah, we'll see you later this week or next stream, or for the channel members, you'll see some posts from me this week. Have a good night. Peace.